What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis. I'm about to talk about the hottest topics. Obviously, I do this on my channel, but I just got to give my certain opinion. Like, I don't talk about LeVar Ball. I don't talk about Lonzo Ball. I don't really talk about LeBron that much. I try to talk about the things that really grab my attention. I think you guys want to hear. And this is a good one because all you guys know I've been having Anthony Davis in my top 6 to 5 almost every year after his junior season. His rookie season was a little let down. His sophomore season, obviously, he was able to make it to the All Star game, and he's been there ever since. And he actually has been able to get to the All NBA team. He has made it to the playoffs. Um, Once, and he put up 30. He dominated that series, and he almost helped them win the game. But Steph Curry hit that three to put the dagger in their heart. And this season, I'm not really going to be surprised. Like I told you guys last year, coming into this year, before the season started, I thought Anthony Davis can win the scoring title. So you know how much like I said, I had him in my top 5. Sometimes it was 6 because he couldn't stay healthy. Now that he's been healthy, he's still been getting beat up. He's still been getting banged up, but he's taking it. He's coming back in games. He's playing hard. Sometimes you can't even tell that he was banged up because he come back in the game like he did today, and he left off where he started the whole season. This is I don't think to answer the question right away. I don't think that Anthony Davis is going to win MVP. Obviously, we've seen the season that Russell Westbrook had put on last year, giving him a triple double. Oscar Robertson averaged a triple double, and he didn't even come out. I think he didn't even finish second in MVP vote. I think Bill Russell and Wilt was first and second. And he didn't even win the MVP when he averaged a triple double. I really wasn't on the bandwagon of Russell Westbrook averaging a triple double last year. I feel like they didn't win enough games. I feel like they was crucifying his teammates and putting the blame on his teammates. Where when at the same time Russell Westbrook was really trying to be ball dominant. He also had situations where he was honestly looking to get the rebounds and looking to get the assists. And if you go back and watch the footage that year, it did seem like he was stat padding a little bit. So I was off the bandwagon. I feel like Russell Westbrook didn't deserve the MVP. If you're going to give it to a guy that could have made it to the, I mean, if you was going to give it to a guy that had bad teammates, you could have gave it to Kawhi Leonard. They won over 60 games that year, and they still made it to the Western Conference Final. James Harden, they won 55 games. That's a lot. That's what too many more wins than that. And he put up a couple triple doubles too, and he put up his high end scoring and assists. And he led the NBA in assists, and they won 55 games. And then you also got to put into account if you really cared about somebody. Putting up some iconic numbers, doing some crazy things. Remember, James Harden did that years ago, and he finished second in the West with Dwight Howard missing over half the season, and he still didn't get the MVP. It went to Stephen Curry, but you can say the same thing about Russ. He won more games than Russ that year, and on top of that, he finished second in the Western Conference, and he still didn't get MVP. But Russell Westbrook averaged a triple double, and then they get a top 5 seed in the West, and I mean a top 6 seed in the West, and he gets the MVP. So I don't really know. All I'm trying to tell you guys, if you're a New Orleans fan, don't be surprised if Anthony Davis don't win MVP. He has been on a historic tear, giving you 50, giving you 40 today, trying to score as much as he can, trying to take over, trying to help rotate, block as many shots, get as many rebounds. He's been clutch as you can be offensively and defensively. He's a superstar player. He's in my top 5 for a reason, and sometimes top 6. And also, you gotta give him credit. He's playing hard defensively. He's trying to get steals. He's trying to get blocks. They actually became a better team since DeMarcus Cousins has been out. And I'm not saying they're better without DeMarcus Cousins, obviously, because they was in the playoffs even when he was healthy. But they have been going on win streaks, and also, DeMarcus Cousins, before he got injured, they was on a win streak. They was figuring it out. Then he went down. But Anthony Davis has been playing outstanding. He has been playing amazing. But let me give you guys a rundown. He has played better than he did last year. Obviously, I expected Anthony Davis to play even better. That's why I picked him to get the scoring title. he averaging the same amount of points as he averaged last year, 28 points. He's shooting higher from the free throw line, giving you about the same rebounds, the same assists, the same blocks, the same steals. Only the big difference is he getting less shots, but he making them more efficiently. He's knocking down threes more efficiently, and he's shooting 82% from the free throw line. Some of those numbers gonna go up a little bit higher because the real numbers the numbers from today hasn't been added into those stats, but he's going to obviously be averaging over 28. But if you really think about it, Anthony Davis been doing this for the last couple years. He has those monster stretches. He has those monster months, and he just put it all together and dominate. One thing you got to give him credit for, he plays with two guards. Drew Holiday is a guy that's unselfish. He's a guy that doesn't always look for a shot, but when he does, he is like a triple threat because he can hit you from the three, get to the paint, and he always is available to pass the ball. Anthony Davis is a tough cover because he's so athletic, he's so quick, and he covers so much ground and space. And ability to leap out of the gym. He can catch and finish around that basket, get layups, get dunks, get alley-oops. And then also you got Rondo. Rondo been giving you so many assists this year too. And I told you guys that they needed Rondo. When he came back later this year, well later this season, he has made an immediate impact because he's an unselfish guy. He has evolved a little bit, got a little bit more modern, but he still is one of the best passers in the league. Not just because of the assists, because of his IQ, knowing the plays, knowing the whole system that he's put in, and he has made a huge adjustment with DeMarcus Cousins going down as more of a playmaker. Same with Drew Holiday. He's been giving you more assists, and he's been just destroying people in the pick and roll and off the dribble. And it's good to see Drew Holiday healthy. He haven't been healthy enough, and it's good that he got his money and he's playing up to the contract. But what we seeing from Anthony Davis is nothing new. Obviously, if he carried his team into the playoffs, it's going to be the narrative that, oh, Anthony Davis carrying the team, just like they did with Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Oh, he's carrying the team. They're nothing without him. His teammates is not stepping up. That's not the case. Drew Holiday has been stepping up. He has been having an unbelievable season. He's about to pass his career high in points. His assists is going up every single game. He has had help, and his role players has been helping too. Some games they don't help as much as others, but a couple of these games, guys, Anthony Davis done went for just 20 and 10, which is still remarkable. But he averaged 35 points a game in February. He had two games in a row where he averaged 26 and 23. Obviously, he came back this game and got you to 40, but he has had some help. He has had more consistent help. Remember, the last couple years they've been using a lot of the G League players to bring them up, give them 10-day contracts, give them a year contract. They couldn't really afford to keep the players that they had around them, and they had to go out there and get some starters. And they went out there, re-signed Drew Holiday, gave the money to Rajon Rondo. Now I think after Achilles tear from DeMarcus, because it looked like he might for the 5-year extension, I think he might just stay with the Pelicans just because he can get more money, and they know what they're getting out of him now, and they know that they can win with him. The problem is, can they build a championship team around this team with Drew Holiday getting that money, Davis getting that extension a couple seasons ago, and if they give it to DeMarcus, they're locked into this team almost, which is crazy. But I just feel like Anthony Davis he's been doing this the last 2 seasons. I don't really think he's gonna get the MVP because best case scenario, Anthony Davis continue to put on a tear. Average if he averaged 30 points a game for the next couple weeks, plus the rebounds, plus the blocks and the steals, they still would technically have to finish three because they're not catching Golden State. They're not going to catch the Rockets at this point because they lost so many games. Plus, they still might lose because the season going on. Um, they will have to finish in that 3 spot, which is being fought with the Portland Trailblazers, the Timberwolves, the Spurs, and the Thunder. And you in the situation where if you lose one game, you can drop from 4 to 7. You can drop from 4 to 9 if you lose a couple in a row. And this team has been hot and cold all season. They're finally starting to get it right the last 3 months. And I still think that Anthony Davis is one of the best players in the league. He's one of the best players that you can have in general because he's a two-way player. But honestly, I don't really see him winning it because James Harden has that narrative. He's the best player. Look out there embarrassing people. They're dribbling and they're shooting over people. Him and Chris Paul are amazing. They have the number one team, the number one record in the NBA. They have a better record than Golden State. They have the biggest win streak of the season. It's just too many things going in James Harden direction. Plus, let's not sleep on James Harden. He's still giving you 31 points a game. Hey, like I can see if James Harden was giving you like 23, 24, 25 points. He averaging over 30. He averaging more points than Anthony Davis. Plus, he's still giving you 9 assists. Plus, he still has the number one record. Plus, he still has they still on a win streak. Like the narrative and the storyline is going in James Harden's favor. Obviously, Anthony Davis and Damian Lillard, I put him in LeBron. They're starting to build up their resume, build up the stats, compile the wins. But James Harden been doing it since day one. Let me remind you, even when Chris Paul was down in the beginning of the season, he went down in the first couple games. And what happened? James Harden was fighting with the Celtics, and they passed them for the number one record. They kept it for a couple weeks, then Golden State passed them. Chris Paul came back, helped them continue to win. James Harden, he went down, came back, and now they back number one in the West. And now they back number one in the NBA. The storyline is going in James Harden's favor. The wins are going in his favor. His numbers are comparable to Anthony Davis in some regards because, they play different positions. You can't really compare them. But everything to me is in James Harden's favor. Plus, you can't just say Anthony Davis had an amazing February. He's the MVP. Realistically, James Harden been doing this the whole season, and they've been winning the whole season. So I doubt anybody take the MVP away from James Harden. He deserves it anyway. He's been putting up. He should have got a couple more scoring titles. He should have got a couple MVPs. But I feel like the thing that matters most is the Finals MVP. Can James Harden and them put it together to win a championship? Can they put it together to make a finals appearance? That's the thing we don't know the answer to. That's the thing that's going to be at the end of this season. If they have a better record than Golden State, if they have the number one seed and they get to the Western Conference Finals, everybody is riding this Houston train. They have to deliver in the postseason too. So it's a failure if they don't get to the finals to me because I've been saying James Harden should have won MVP years and years ago. I've been saying that he's one of the top 5 players in the league. Same with Anthony Davis years and years ago. Anthony Davis had a fantastic month. James Harden been doing this shit for the whole season. Let me know what you guys think about James Harden getting MVP. Should AD get it? Should LeBron get it? Should Russell get it? Should Damian Lillard enter in the conversation? But just be realistic. Just be open-minded. James Harden been MVP even when Chris Paul was injured. He came back and he's still putting up MVP numbers and they're still winning. I doubt he lose it. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com, link in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com, link in the description, comment section below. And if you disagree, feel free to comment. We ain't got to argue. We ain't got to fight. Just let me know what you guys think. And if you want me, depending on the question, I might answer it.